Hi, this is Mark Wade from CenterCityCondos.com at Berkshire Hathaway Fox and Roach Realtors. And this podcast, I'd like to tell you everything that's inside my brain about 2101 Market Street, the Murano. And it goes like this. It's a 42-story tower building with 302 units. It's really kind of prominent on our skyline just due to the fact of it's a kind of a regional look. It's almost in the shape of a horseshoe because one end is curved. You can see it when you're coming down the Schuylkill and you pass Fairmount Park, you come around the corner and there's the skyline and there's the Murano. So I like the building. I think the building is always proven to be very strong, reliable in terms of value retention, livability, resale values, days on market, things like that. It's got an interesting history in my mind because they started the plans around 2005, and you went to the sales office and it was a snotty sales office, believe me. It was the snottiest in town. But you went to the sales office and they showed you some brochures and all that kind of stuff, and the building started to be built. I believe it was completed like 2008, 2009, 2010, something like that. Anyway, where was I going with that? When the market went soft in 2008, sales in the building went soft, like they did all over Center City. The developer wisely, in my opinion, held an auction. He sold 40 units that day. Now, values drop at auctions generally in Center City if the values on a Monday are $100,000 per unit, and then you have an auction the next day. The following day, the values are at $80,000. You generally see a 20% price drop on anything that's sold before an auction happens. And then when the auction happens, the prices that people bid are generally 80% of what the market could bear, before that. Anyway. The Murano has captured that 20% back probably quicker than any building in Center City. If we're looking at value growth in and out of the highs and lows of the market, coming out of the bad market, I see the Murano is probably one of the top 2 or 3 in Center City in my eyes in terms of how it's blossomed in demand and resale value and days on market and desirability and on and on and on. The condo fees here are going to be fairly all-inclusive. You got the pool, you got the gym, you got your parking, you got the heat and the central air, which is given to you by the building. You pay for the 2 little electric motors that blow it into your unit. It's also going to cover master insurance policy and water and sewer and 24-hour desk staff and building maintenance, for the hallways and the general common electric and all that stuff. Snow removal, trash removal, on and on. Did I tell you it was 42 stories? Well, guess what? It's 42 stories. I like the building, 302 units altogether. There are 1, 2, and 3 bedroom units in the building, anywhere from 743 square feet up to over 2,600 square feet. I've sold one of the penthouses in here to a young gal by the name of Bonnie, and she loves it. It was really a phenomenal unit. You've got floor-to-ceiling glass windows, and then the views are just phenomenal, and so anyway, it's a great building. What else can I tell you? There's 2 palettes in there. There's the light palette and the dark palette. And if you don't pay attention, you won't notice the difference. They're minimally different. What else? Value originally, like any developer, there's unit 401 and then there's unit 1901 and then unit 2801, and they're all the same. Originally, values were pegged upon floor height, and to a degree it still is, although now I think O2 units are going to sell for what O2 units sell for in the building, regardless of floor height. A floor height, if anyone had their druthers, sure, they'd pick a high floor, but if you've got a high floor that sells for $700,000 or $800,000, and then the low floor comes on the market, but it shows really well and there's no other units available, it'll sell for the same price. And that's true of all high rises now. I don't know why I was telling you about that. Most of the tax abatement is used up. There's a 24-hour concierge here. I think they're friendly when you go in. I think that's always important. They're helpful. What can I tell you? Indoor pool, gym. It's a pet-friendly building. Cats and dogs. There are probably weight limits on dogs, I'm sure of, and you can't have like 6 dogs. If you want floor plans, just scroll down on the Murano page at CenterCityCondos.com. I've got all kinds of floor plans there. So that's about it. Oh, one other thing. There were 20 sales in the building in the past 180 days. And I find that very interesting because the building is moving and selling and all that kind of stuff. I'm not suggesting turnover's high, but I'm suggesting in that past 6 months, when everybody buys in the building, you put 2 to 3 months into the capital contribution. So you take 2 to 3 months of your condo fees and you hand it over to the condo association. It doesn't go back to the seller. It goes in the kitty. It goes in the condo pot. With that many units turning That's, they could have raked in an extra, 50,000 in the past 6 months just on turnover alone. Of course they're collecting their dues, but then you've got this turnover, which is really phenomenal. So anyway, I'm a big fan of the Murano. I think it sells well, and it looks well, and it plays well, and it lives well, and it's got the amenities and the parking and then on and on and on. It's really not been missing a beat. When the first building first came on the market, I take clients there and they say, "Oh, this is kind of far and it's a little removed from Rittenhouse Square." I do not hear that ever. The infill between Rittenhouse Square and the Murano is so phenomenal in the number of people, eyes on the street traffic, lights, all that kind of stuff that really make a neighborhood. The neighborhood's just exploded. And so now when we say Rittenhouse Square area, now of course it includes the Murano. 10 years ago, you wouldn't have said the Murano was in the Rittenhouse Square. You really wouldn't have included it. It was its own little private Idaho there, a little north. So not the case anymore. Anyway, I like the building, and if there's a unit available, you might want to jump on it because the building has a tendency to have a fairly short DOM clock overall, days on market clock. So a unit comes available there, and it has a tendency to sell very quickly. Anyway, I'm yammering on and on. Mark Wade, CenterCityCondos.com. Questions, comments, concerns, pick up the telephone. You push the buttons on the front of it. I'm sure you know how to do that. 215-521-1523. There you go, boys and girls. Thank you very much. Have a good one.